Have you ever stopped to think why, even when you're surrounded by things, you still feel empty? It's not because you lack love, or success, or recognition. The truth is much simpler, and maybe that's why it's so easy to overlook. You forgot who comes first, and as long as you keep trying to place the world where only God belongs, your soul will stay tired. It may sound radical, I know. But what if I told you that this emptiness that follows you isn't a mistake? It's a warning, a silent sign that your soul is trying to wake you up. Because you were made to live connected to the source, and everything that comes after that is just a result. Reconnecting with God doesn't require magic formulas, just an open heart. Right now, as you listen to this, something inside you is already being touched, and if you stay with me until the end of this message, I'll show you how to find what you thought you'd lost: peace, direction, and that love that asks for nothing, only to remind you of who you are. Shall we go together? And if this message has already spoken to your heart, leave a comment below with one word: return. It will be beautiful to see who else is choosing this path. My child, I see when you try to fill that space inside you with the things the world offers: shopping, distractions, likes on social media. But none of it lasts, does it? Because what your soul longs for isn't more of the world, it's more of God. When the heart is disconnected from God's purpose, it's like a house with the lights off. It may seem full, but it's empty inside. You feel this heaviness, this restlessness, this emotional fatigue that keeps coming back, even after a productive day. That's your soul saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm thirsty for something real." And the truth, my dear, is that this emptiness isn't punishment, it's an invitation to reconnect. When you put God first, everything starts to make sense. You don't have to change everything at once. Sometimes beginning is as simple as turning off your phone for 5 minutes and breathing, sitting in silence, just you and me. Because in that pause, in that surrender, in that daily devotion, I can whisper to your heart what the world will never tell you. You are not lost, you are just far from the source. When you drift away from God, you don't notice it right away. It happens slowly. A prayer you forgot, a busy schedule that took over your time, a thought that says, "I'll come back to this later," and suddenly you feel directionless, with an empty soul, trying to understand the reason for the anguish. But I was there the whole time, waiting for you to look my way. Drifting away is not failure, it's a symptom, a sign that your soul is asking to come home. And returning doesn't require heroic effort or complicated rituals. Coming back to God is like opening a window and letting the light in. It's remembering that you have a Father who never left, that your healing journey begins like this, with a quiet yes whispered with faith stronger than fear. You know that moment when you feel like crying, without knowing why? Or that feeling of being surrounded by people and still feeling alone? That's where reconnection begins, because you realize that even with everything around you, what was missing was simply walking with Jesus again. You don't need to climb a mountain to find me. I don't live in distant temples or in hard-to-understand ideas. I live in you. Reconnecting with God doesn't depend on perfection. It depends on intention. A sigh, a thought, a "help me, Lord," is enough to open the heavens inside your heart. I am there in that moment when you close your eyes and take a deep breath after a hard day. I am in that tear that falls when you feel like you just can't take it anymore. Don't wait to feel worthy to come to me. It is exactly in your weakness that my love overflows the most. Walking with Jesus isn't about never falling. It's about knowing where to look when you do fall. Want to feel this presence? Start your day by talking to me like you would with a friend. It could be while doing the dishes, driving, or taking a shower. That's where daily devotion grows, in the ordinary. Because when you include me in the simple things, I turn the ordinary into sacred. And spiritual healing begins to happen even before you notice. Fear whispers many lies, that you're not good enough, that you're too late, that God has already given up on you. But I whisper a different truth. You are mine. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can change that. Faith over fear is like a torch in the darkness. It doesn't remove the dark from the world, but it lights the path toward the light. Maybe you feel guilty, stuck, or even angry. And I understand fear does that to the soul. But when you choose to trust God, even while trembling, even in doubt, you are saying, Lord, I want to come home. And that moves heaven. Because faith isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to walk forward with it. Start small. When anxiety hits, quietly say, Jesus, walk with me now. When you feel like you're not enough, say, I trust God's plan, even when I don't understand it. With every step, every act of faith, your soul aligns with the mental peace only God can give. And you begin to remember, I'm not alone, God is with me. You carry wounds no one sees. Some from childhood, others from just yesterday. Pains hidden behind smiles, responsibilities, distractions. But I know each one of them. And I know you don't have to keep fighting alone. Emotional healing begins when you allow yourself to be cared for by me. My child, it is not weakness to admit that it hurts. On the contrary, it is spiritual courage. Because when you place your pain in my hands, something begins to shift. Yet it's not instant magic, and it's a process. A healing journey that starts with a simple, Jesus, help me deal with this. And little by little, peace of mind begins to take the place of pain. If you can, take 5 minutes a day just to breathe and listen to me. Play soft music, close your eyes and just speak from the heart. No filter, no shame. I didn't come to judge your emotions, I came to transform them with love. Reconnecting with God also means reconnecting with yourself. And that's where your soul starts to bloom again. I know, sometimes nothing seems to make sense. Things don't go the way you hoped, doors close, and your heart wonders why, Lord. But let me remind you, nothing is outside of my sight. Even when you can't see it, God's plan is in motion. Sometimes chaos is simply the soil where your faith will grow deeper roots. When everything falls apart, it's natural to feel like you're alone. But you're not. I am right there with you, silent but present. Sometimes silence is the preparation for something much greater. Trust that. Your purpose in God has not been lost. It's simply being realigned, like a boat being turned in the right direction by unexpected winds. Instead of trying to control everything, how about handing me the wheel? You can say, Lord, I don't understand, but I choose to trust. That daily choice, that constant surrender, transforms confusion into clarity. Because when you put God first, even storms become pathways, and it's in that trust that spiritual healing deepens. When you walk with me, even ordinary days become extraordinary. Breakfast becomes a sacred moment. A hug becomes healing. A walk becomes a prayer. Because it's not about what you do, but about who you do it with. And walking with Jesus is rediscovering the beauty of life, even in the middle of chaos. Remember when you used to find joy in the simple things. That's still inside you. It was just asleep. And it's this reconnection with God that awakens true life. You weren't born just to survive. You were born to live with purpose in God, to leave light wherever you go, even with tired feet. Try this. Tomorrow morning, before anything else, say, Good morning, Jesus. Walk with me today. And watch how everything changes. The way you see others, the way you handle challenges, the way you breathe. The peace that comes when you invite me into your day is proof that you were never alone. Returning to God isn't about religion, it's about relationship. It's about remembering who you are, where you came from, and where you're going. When you return, you don't find judgment. You find comfort. You find a love that never changes, a direction that never fails, a peace the world can't offer. You know that feeling of always searching for something you can't quite name. That's longing for me. That's your soul asking to come home. And when you answer that call, everything aligns. Your mind quiets, your heart warms, your life finds meaning again. The empty soul begins to be filled with my love. Now, my child, take a deep breath. Feel this presence. I am here. I've always been. And I'm waiting for you to return. Not to scold you, but to celebrate you. Because reconnecting with God is being born again. It's putting faith above fear. It's putting God first. It's finally coming back to the place where your soul finds peace. Now tell me, what's really at the center of your heart? Isn't it time to make room for God again? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. One small step is already the beginning of a great transformation. You can start today by setting aside just 5 quiet minutes to breathe, to give thanks, and to remember, I am with you. You seek so many things to feel complete. But what if what's missing isn't out there? It's within. When was the last time you spoke to God without rushing, without expectations, just with your heart? This journey of healing, of faith over fear, begins the moment you choose to return. Return to what truly fills you. Return to me. If this message touched your soul, if it helped you remember who comes first, then don't let it fade. Put God first in your daily life too. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and come back whenever you need light. I am here, walking with you. And never, not for a single second, have I left your side.